that this is a section that will spark your interest and boost your knowledge about this particular legal field. So since you all have told me that you are from first year, second year, third year, fourth year and different years of law school, so this will going to help you in the longer run when you will actually complete your law and enter the corporate world or enter whichever field you desire to. So moving ahead, I believe you all can see the screen of the objective.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. See, so basically today we need to understand that our objective is basically to empower law students with the right strategies to confidently navigate law school. And now by strategy, I believe most of you will think that what is strategy? Like we don't need to literally sit down and write on pen on paper that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, that is not the thing. And of course, I'm going to help you how to kickstart your legal careers. So number one, the point is overcoming law school struggles. So I believe today, even if you are in fourth year of law school or in first year, I believe you all are facing some or the other kind of struggle. For example, some of you might facing entering into any good internship. Second point, building unshakable confidence. So here we are going to understand that how will you be able to build your confidence, because law, confidence and clarity, this is something which you really need to understand. Because if you don't have clarity, you'll not be able to build confidence. Similarly, if you don't have legal knowledge, you'll also not be able to build confidence. Thirdly, finding clarity in your legal journey. And last but not the least, landing onto your dream career. So with this objective, let me go ahead. So yes. So now we have to understand that it is not about completing a degree. I know you all have taken admission in certain other law colleges, but it's not just going to be a degree. Trust me, when I initially began my journey in law, I also thought that getting a degree of law, BA, LLB, BB, LLB or LLB, anything will actually help me stood out amongst others. But it is not that way. You have to develop a mindset that will help you land into your career, land into your desired opportunity. Secondly, and which is the most important thing, developing a skill set. A skill set which is actually going to help you to navigate your life post completing your law. And third, which is of utmost importance, developing a network. Trust.
Ma'am, your video is stuck.
Yes, anyone was saying anything?
Ma'am, your video was stuck.
Yeah. Now?
Yes, ma'am. I see.
Yeah. Okay. So now I really want to ask someone who has done any internship till now. Can anyone just raise your hand and tell me that? Yes, I want to hear. Who's that? Please tell your name and then you can go ahead.
Ma'am, my name is Disha.
Yes,
I'm currently interning in District and Session Court.
Okay.
And I'm also an intern in Law Trove.
Okay, that's good to know. Anyone else?
Ma'am, my name is Nandini and I have recently internship at NHRC,
Okay.
National Human Rights Commission.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Disha, Nandini, good to know about your internships. So now tell me what all particular problems you have been facing when you literally tried to land into any internship. You have completed or you are doing internship, that's good. But what all problems you have faced when you actually entered or trying to enter any internship? Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, when I have entered in the internship, so I didn't face problem to find an internship. But when I'm currently interning, so like I have not been introduced to any specific law subject. So I was facing struggle to understand the concepts. Although I'm trying to observe the thing, but how the things work, I'm like facing their issues. And like I'm also interning in the NGO. So So there also I'm facing the issue like how the things work, because I don't have any like source of any law subjects because we are not taught yet.
Yes, so that is the basic problem which we are going to discuss here. You are not supposed to just enter into any internship. This is for each and everyone who are in their first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year of law school. Okay, you need to understand that if you are seeing any opportunity and you're just going there without giving a single thought, then trust me, it is actually a waste of time. Okay, so what law students are mostly feeling, what is struggle for them is which field of law should I choose? So any one of you, so I see someone who is in their fourth year of law school. So have you decided that which particular field of law you are going to choose? Yes, the one who just stated that he or she is in that particular fourth year of law school.
May I speak?
Yes.
Actually, I have given exams of 8th semester. Like, it was not completed yet due to some misconduct in the examination structure of the university. So, for progressive years, I have chosen for the judicial services, but the 3-year rule that recently came, I was little I was not aware what to do next. So I decided to go for either criminal law or taxation law.
See, so that is the problem, that even if one decides to go into criminal law or taxation law, there are n number of opportunities in that particular field as well, because there is a pressure of competition. There are internships which will say that they will offer you good amount of experience, but it actually doesn't turn out to be that way. There are exams, there are expectations from you, from the society, from that particular domain of criminal law or for say taxation law. So here you need to understand that you should have the clarity. When you are lacking clarity, where you have to begin, what field of law should you choose, and because of low confidence, there is a fear of failure or rejection, right? So that's why you need to understand that you just not need to have any internship. Trust me, I barely have done internships in top firms throughout my law school. This is the truth of my journey, that it is not that you have done internships like people say today, tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 law firms, or any good firm which is having a good name. So that is not the case. But what helped me stood out is that I have built confidence, I have developed skill set. Now confidence and skill set, both are the things which you can actually develop while you are in your law school. So with this, I want to ask all of you, I believe you are from different states, different law schools. So of course, each of every law school is hosting any cultural programs or any sort of or either academic or non-academic events. So do you guys participate in those events?
Yes, ma'am.
Only one?
Yes, ma'am.
Only two?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So out of 17, I can see only two
But
participate.
has not been started yet.
So what particular,
Yes.
in which particular domain you participate? In academics, for example, moods, debate, or cultural activities like hosting events or volunteering in those events? In which either of this, in which particular domain you participate usually?
Ma'am, I have recently presented a lecture on POSH Act as key speaker in my university in different departments
That's good to know.
as part of legal aid cell.
Yes. So this one particular aspect is very important, that you are actually taking and actually having the courage to speak up. Because trust me, after completing your law, if any one of you wants to go into litigation, if some are going to corporate, if some are going into public policy or research, you need to have the confidence to speak up. And you are at the right stage in your life where you can actually build your confidence. If each and any one of you or any person has not yet participated in any of the events, because trust me, all the things are connected. Law school is the best time that you can develop these kind of soft skills. So you have to participate in cultural activities. Why? Because one thing, if you're volunteering in an event, people usually underestimate the term volunteering, because volunteering, it is actually so fruitful in your journey. If you volunteer in any event, you get the chance to coordinate with different kind of teams. If there is any particular event happening in your college, there are different kind of teams which are handling those events. And if you are volunteering in either one or two, you get a chance to understand how things work. Because this particular thing is going to help you if you are into corporate or if you are going to land in the actual practical world. If you are not able to coordinate amongst people, if you are not able to coordinate amongst your team, you will not be able to actually stood out from others around you. So our aim after completing law is not just getting a job. Our aim is not just getting money. But our aim is actually standing out from your peers. How you can stand out? For that, it's the right time you can build up your skill set. Because as you can see on the screen, low confidence is equals to fear of failure or rejection. If you don't have confidence, if you don't have clarity in your law school, you will definitely going to fail and you will definitely going to feel the rejection. So for that, you have to understand today, no matter if you are in your 4th year or 1st year, you have to set clear goals, right? Now, anyone, just tell me, what do you understand by setting goal? In your language, in simple words. Just anyone. Yes? What do you understand by setting goal?
May I try?
Yes, Disha, please go ahead.
According to me, goal means our vision, what we have to achieve in our life. So when we set short-term goals, we have more clarity, because we can achieve long-term goals when we have clarity in our short-term goals.
Okay, so this is Disha's perception. Anyone having any different kind of perception as to what is goal or how you will set your goal? Because if you are not able to speak up about your goal, you're definitely going to fail in the longer run. So you have to speak up.
Goal is something we want to achieve in our life. And to start that means to achieve a particular goal which we have set up.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for sharing your ideas. So the thing is, now goal in life is a different thing. Now we are talking about goal in our particular field, in the legal field, in your law school. So your short-term goals should be, number one, you have to master the core subjects of law. See, in 1st year, you might be encountering certain subjects. By coming towards 4th year of law, you will have different kind of subjects like interpretation or IPR and so many others. So it's not like you can be a master of each and every subject. And trust me, that is not going to help you after completing your law degree. If you are entering in the practical world, definitely none of those subjects will actually help you unless and until you are specializing in those particular domain. So you have to understand and master the core subjects of law. Now, what are the core subjects of law? Number one, while we are studying law, the Constitution of India. You need to know and you need to have a good understanding of constitution law. Secondly, you need to have a good understanding of the procedurals law. Suppose any one of you wants to pursue litigation as a career, so you have to have a good understanding of the procedurals law. Next thing, if somebody wants to aspire and build a career in intellectual property law, you need to have a good hold about IPR. See, you cannot master each and every subject of law, but you need to understand as per your long-term goal, you have to set short-term goals in specializing or understanding certain particular subjects that is going to help you in the longer run. And for that, you have to build efficient study habits and time management. So trust me, I in my law school have ensured that I am giving time to each and every aspect of my law school. I have given time to managing events, to hosting events, to taking part in activities, and to also taking part in academic and co-curricular activities. So you have to literally devote your time. If you're not devoting time to each and everything, start it right today. Doesn't matter in which particular semester you are, you have to devote time to each and every activities your particular organization or institute is holding on, because that little things is going to help you in the longer run. Now, after understanding what are your short-term goals, you have to understand what are your long-term goals. To develop a strong legal career path. Now, how you will be able to develop a strong legal career path? For that, with time. I am not saying that from the day one of your law school, you will understand that you have to build a career in so and so particular thing. Some may think initially that I want to go in litigation. But I myself have seen my batchmates who initially thought that they want to build a career in litigation, but without having a clear clarity, without understanding and without building the confidence, they somewhere or the other they fail. Actually they fail. So then they have to pivot. They have to take a different direction and enter into corporate or certain other particular domain. So that's the thing. Long term, you have to build a strong career path. You shouldn't be having any such situation that in your life that after doing certain thing, you have to accidentally turn and change your path. This happens with people. If you will see today, there are people who have pursued law degree, but they are doing something opposite to that. They are going into management. This happens, right? So you should ensure that this is something which should not happen with you in the longer run. So this is a time where you can actually understand your short-term goals. You can actually develop a strong legal career path based on that. Definitely, if someone is doing an internship today in district and session court, suppose as a litigator, right? So now, after completing your law, you may think that okay, this is not something for me. या फिर तब तक the market is so diverse, you will have a lot of opportunity, and then you will understand that okay, I don't want to do litigation, I want to change my path. So that is fine. There are certain years. These are the years of law school, 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year. Even after completing your final year, you can pivot, you can take a different direction. But that shouldn't be your longer goal. Okay, you can definitely take a different path, but you cannot just change your path. Okay, this is not going to help you. This is not going to help you specialize in those particular domain. And secondly, you have to build a professional network of meaningful connections. So we'll discuss this ahead, but tell me how many of you are using certain websites or using, per se, LinkedIn. So how many of you are actually using LinkedIn, and if yes, how you are utilizing that platform? I really want to know about this. Yes, please speak up.
Hello, ma'am, I'm using LinkedIn from the first month of my law school, and I'm utilizing it whatever workshops, webinars I'm attending, and what is my opinion on different subjects I'm trying to express to LinkedIn. And whatever I'm achieving in my college, I'm posting that in LinkedIn. I'm trying to connect with the senior advocates to know about different internships and exploring different fields of law.
Okay. Yes, Manisha, I see your hand is raised. Okay, so out of 15, I think there is one person who is actually utilizing platforms like LinkedIn. Yes, Nandini. Okay, I feel there is certain network issue. Okay, good to know about this, Disha, that you are actually utilizing LinkedIn for actually creating a different identity about yourself. So that is one thing that you need to understand. We'll definitely discuss this moving forward. But now coming to the major point why we are having this discussion today and why I choose to hold a session about law, confidence and clarity. because this is the basic thing which law students across whole globe are facing difficulty. So that's why I'm here to help you reflect on yourself. Now, how will you reflect on yourself? There are certain things which you need to understand today. First of all, interest alone will not help you land onto good opportunity. सिर्फ अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट है एक पर्टिकुलर फील्ड ऑफ लॉ में कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल मुझे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लॉ पसंद है इसलिए मैं उस पर मास्टरी करूंगी या करूंगा एंड देन आई विल गेट अ जॉब. नो, दिस इज नॉट द केस. सिर्फ स्किल सेट होना इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट कि आप कंटिन्यूसली ट्राई कर रहे हो कि आप सर्टिफिकेट कोर्सेज कर रहे हो. आपके आगे जो भी सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स आ रहा है यू आर जस्ट ट्राइंग एनरोलिंग एंड यू आर जस्ट परस्यूइंग दैट कोर्स एंड यू आर एडिंग इनटू योर सीवी. दिस इज द मोस्ट problematic thing I'm seeing today amongst law students, that they are just collecting certificates. This is actually not going to help you, right? Thirdly, सिर्फ opportunities होना भी market में is not suffice. आज के डेट में there are so many opportunities about law and technology. This is one domain which is actually booming today and it will going to stay for the lifetime from now. So only opportunities is also not going to help you. So you have to understand this is the right time in your law school that आपको ये समझना है that in which particular field of law you are interested. Take your time, take certain years, pass your semesters, identify that okay, intellectual property is a field which interests me, and then accordingly try to build your skill set. Try pursuing internships in those particular domains. Try entering into any firm which have IPR services, right? Try doing any certification about IP. Internships are there. You are trying to, land into that. But longer run में क्या? Law complete हो गया है. You have to. Ultimate goal of everyone here, I believe, is to earn money, is to create an identity of themselves, right? So, but what if it happens that उसकी opportunities ही इतनी नहीं है market में? So, it shouldn't be like that कि आप 5 साल law की पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, आपका एक particular field में interest आ गया, आपने skills भी उतनी बढ़ा ली, but उसकी opportunity नहीं है. That's the main reason कि आपको job ही नहीं मिलेगा market में, right? तो आपको market trend को समझना पड़ेगा. That's why I have asked how many of you are actually using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not a platform to help you land into job or internship. It is a platform where you can actually connect with people, where you can learn different types of skill set which are there in the market in your particular domain. For example, legal domain. You can actually get to know that what type of opportunities are increasing today in the market, right? So accordingly, you will build your interest with time, you will develop your skill set, and then since you know that there are opportunities in this particular domain, this is the perfect package which you will carry in your lifetime. Because here, what you will see, you have focus on your efforts. Your efforts have actually aligned with your passion, right? Your talents and the market needs. See, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that you are pursuing law, you are putting efforts, you are clearing out semesters, you are getting good scores, but ultimately ना आप उसमें passionate हो, ना आप talent build कर पा रहे हो, ना market में उस चीज की opportunity है. It will all go in vain, right? So you have to understand कि आज के डेट में opportunities क्या क्या है. Any one of you have heard about artificial intelligence, legal technology? If did, let me know. Any one of you can just tell me what is AI. And one another important question. Your law school is actually teaching you what is AI and how it can help you to actually build your career and what are the opportunities in those field. You're studying in law schools, right? So does your law school have those subjects, or any of your professor or teacher does uses this name?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm in 5th year and till now no one has even talked about AI. They only tell us not to make our projects using AI. That's
It's only about plagiarism, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But trust me, if this is the case with each and every one of you right now, there are 14 people, 13 people. If this is the case today, you are actually facing a lot of trouble. You will going to face a trouble coming forward, because the market has been prepared in such a way today for the longer run that if you don't understand what is AI, if you don't know how law and technology works together, if you don't know that law and technology, this particular term is offering you tremendous opportunities in the market, not just in India but outside India, then you will definitely be going to left behind, because there are so many students ahead of you who are actually trying and putting efforts to understand what is AI and how it will align with your particular field and how there are opportunities and you can grab them. So that is one aspect which you really need to give a thought about. So that was the major point of discussing this particular slide, that you have to reflect on yourself. Even if you build your skills, your interest, but there are no opportunities, your efforts will go in vain. So that's the thing. Now, there are 3 pillars of success. So this particular topic is not just a mere topic. Law, confidence and clarity together will help you to build a pillar of success for your future career, right? You need to understand this very minutely. Law is a culmination of your knowledge, your skills, okay? Law school will teach you the subjects. Law school will guide you, okay? There are different kind of opportunities. Law school will help you enter into any internship. Law school or studying law will help you get a job, okay? 5 years of degree will definitely, it's not like that you'll not get a job, but mere getting a job is not suffice, right? You have to have interest. Suppose you are landing into any job, you are earning good amount of money, but you don't have interest working in that. Trust me, after a certain point of time or after a certain period of earning that money, you will be tired of it. This is the reality which you will not be understanding right now, but you will definitely understand later in your life. Okay, so that's the thing. Secondly, because law will give you all these things. Law will give you opportunities, law will give you a degree, law will give you an image, an identity. The advocate word will give you an identity, definitely. But अगर आपने अपने 5 साल में confidence build नहीं किया, which comes from your inner strength, then all that is not suffice, is not complete, right? क्योंकि आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल गई है, आप इंटर्नशिप कर रहे हो, आप जॉब कर रहे हो, बट आपके पास कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. व्हेन यू आर सिटिंग इन अ टीम ऑफ 5 or 6 people, you are not able to speak or put up your point. That's why the skill set of debating is very important. I don't know how many of you take parts in actual moot courts or debate competition or any kind of presentation competition. I heard somebody saying that she's taken any presentation or given a presentation. That's actually good. So that is the thing which you need to understand, that it is going to build your confidence. Yeah, somebody is texting, I don't know. Yeah, Nandini. You have to unmute yourself, Nandini. I am not able to hear you.
Ma'am, I was the one who was select.
Yes, that's good. Actually, that's why I've said that this is the actual time where you can build your confidence, because no job will, or not just simply pursuing law will give you that confidence unless you are actually taking part in those activities, because confidence is your inner strength. You have to understand confidence is the strength. And thirdly, clarity. Now, simply having confidence is not enough. Confidence कैसे आता है? जब हम किसी चीज को लेके क्लियर होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपका प्रेजेंटेशन है, आपका वाइवा हो रहा है सपोज, तो आपको वो पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट का नॉलेज होना जरूरी है. आपको अगर नॉलेज है, आपको क्लैरिटी है, तो आप में कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा टू स्टैंड एंड स्पीक अप एंड गिव आंसर टू द क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड बाय योर प्रोफेसर, राइट? सो दीज 3 थिंग्स वर्क टुगेदर. अगर आपको ये फील्ड में इन द लॉन्गर रन, यू हैव टू identify and understand where you stand, and you have to stood out from amongst others. You need to have a combination of not just your legal knowledge, but you have to have a clarity of what are you doing and what you are going to do. And thirdly, along that, in that path, you have to build up your confidence. Confidence is something, I'm not saying that it is built up in the day 1 of your law school. अगर आपने कोई activity में part ले लिया, आप confident हो, that is not confidence. Confidence is something which you carry each single day. Confidence is something when I'm asking you to unmute yourself and speak up, that is confidence. So these are the little things where you are building your confidence. And trust me, once if you have decoded the concept of confidence, if you have decoded, okay, I can speak up, doesn't matter I'm right or wrong, you are just going to shine in your career. Okay, so this is one of the major thing I have learned in my law school, I have learned during my masters, that if you know that doesn't matter you are right or wrong, but you are putting up your thoughts, if somebody is asking you something, you are actually able to speak up, that is confidence, and that is going to build up with time, each and every day, right? Moving ahead, time management, as I've already discussed, it is a very critical factor throughout law school. So I've asked you earlier, how many of you have actually taken participation in various kind of debates or other extracurricular activities? Because managing time in both of the things will impact your academic performance and personal growth. Now, if you are just taking part in debates and moot courts just to academically build yourself, okay, your CV will show that I have participated in so many moot courts, but it is not helping you grow personally, right? If you are not able to build the confidence, if you are not able to getting the clarity of what I am going to do in the coming years, that is not going to help you grow personally. So you have to manage your time in such a way. Doesn't matter if you are in the last year of your law college, you still have time to understand that it's not just academic performance. It's okay, you have scored well, but have you grown personally? Are you able to land onto any good opportunity? Opportunities are everywhere. Each and every one of you will definitely land onto any or other desired opportunity, but is it actually helping you grow personally? If not, you have to give this a thought. Okay, so moving ahead, cultivating soft skills. So this is another essence of today's discussion of your law school, that are you able to cultivate soft skills? This is something which no internship, no job, no advocate will come and share with you if you're practicing under him or her, that how you will able to cultivate soft skills. It is only these years of law journey, it is only these years of education that you will understand that are you actually building your soft skills, right? So it is actually crucial for lawyers who want to excel in corporate roles, academic positions, or professional environments. So is there anyone who wants to be a professor in future? Is there anyone who wants to be a professor or teacher, who wants to teach law? Nobody?
Yes, ma'am, I want to.
Okay, good. So now, even if you clear the net, even if you get a PhD degree, if you don't have soft skills, you will not be able to put yourself differently amongst those teachers or those professors around you. Because this is not just going to help you in academics, it's not just going to help you being a professor, but if you are working in a corporate environment, suppose you're working, you're doing any internship in any law firm, suppose in future you are doing any job in a corporate company, you need to have these particular kind of skills which are interconnected to each other. Now, how they are interconnected? Number one, effective collaboration. If you are able to speak up, if you have built the confidence, you can collaborate effectively amongst team. Now, suppose आपके सामने एक client आ रहा है, you have to deal with that client. The first step is to understand what is the problem. So, if you're able to collaborate with your team, if you're able to collaborate with the clients in front of you, it will help you to prepare for client interaction. So, these are the two things which are very much interconnected to each other. Effective collaboration is a skill which you can build right today. You can sit in the team of 2 or 3 people. Even if you are friends, you can sit and discuss on one particular topic. You have a diverse perspective, right? The third point which you can see, and the first on the other side, understanding diverse perspectives and conflict resolution and team setting. So this is something आप debate competition में part लेते हो. Debate is what? आप एक point put कर रहे हो, सामने वाला उस point को deny कर रहा है, and likewise you're going ahead. So that's the thing, you have to be a patient listener. If you're not a patient listener, you'll not be able to resolve the conflicts. Conflict resolve करने के लिए आपको conflict तो पता होना चाहिए ना. For that you have to sit quietly, you have to listen, you have to understand कि सामने वाला क्या बोलना चाह रहा है, what is his or her perspective. Once you understand his or her perspective, you can definitely resolve that particular problem in any team you are working in. So this is one thing no internship is going to teach you, but it is equally important if you have to stood out. I'm again and again repeating, getting a job is not the only thing. You will definitely get a job, but how are you going to survive for the longer run? How are you going to put yourself differently? Everybody wants to excel. This is not just that you have, if you have finished your law, you're in 5th year of your law school, law हो गया है, competition खत्म, ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have, competition is rising at next level, right? Active listening will help you to build confidence in public. That's why I'm saying that if you have to sit in a team of 4 or 5, you have to listen to what other person is saying. Accordingly, you have to jot down what the person is saying. हम debates में यही करते हैं. You have to keep a pen and paper. You have to note down the points what other person is saying, and accordingly you have to speak up. So for speaking up, you should have the clarity of what the other person is saying. So active listening is equally important to resolve any conflict, to speak confidently in public setting. So these are the soft skills which I definitely want to request you, each one of you, to start building today. It is not a day one thing, it is a lifelong thing. But if you are starting it right now, then it will definitely going to help you if you are working in any corporate, if you are being a professor, or if you are working anywhere, or if you are practicing in the court. Right. So now pursuing internships during law school, this is a major thing. I already have stated that I have not done any that kind of internship in my journey, which people are today actually fascinated about, right? That you want to work here, you want to work there. It's good, but that is not the only thing. You have to understand that you have to choose internships that are somewhere relevant to the area of law you want to pursue. I'm not saying that from a day one of your law school you are very clear that okay, I want to be this in future, so that's why I'll pursue this internship. This is also a problematic situation, but you have to understand it should be somewhere relevant, right? अगर आप आज litigation practice कर रहे हो, okay, आपने 3rd year से start कर दिया, you are working under an advocate for 3 years, and आपको पता चल रहा है कि no, I want to work in corporate, I want to go in a company, right? How that is going to help you? It is not at all going to help you. Trust me. The skill set, the soft skills you will build, it will help you. But practicing in court will not going to help you if you're not going in that relevant direction. Okay, if you're working in a law firm has different departments, litigation department, corporate department, it's a different thing. So if you're doing litigation practice and trying to enter into a litigation department of a law firm, that is going to help you. But then वो चीज भी बहुत narrow down हो जाती है. अगर आप litigation practice कर रहे हो property law में, right? And then आप navigate कर रहे हो to a law firm in a litigation team, वहाँ पे criminal law की प्रैक्टिस हो रही है या फिर क्रिमिनल लॉ को फर्म रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है, तो हाउ दैट प्रॉपर्टी लॉ वाला एक्सपीरियंस विल हेल्प यू लैंड इनटू दैट क्रिमिनल लॉ वाला डोमेन, राइट? सो वही आपको समझना है कि लॉ में भी बहुत नैरो डाउन होकर चीजें आती है. और आज के डेट में इफ यू आर सर्चिंग अ जॉब, यू हैव टू whenever you search for a job or internship, there are job description, right? You have to literally understand, go through with that job description and see if it actually aligning with your past experience or interest or not, right? अगर आप corporate में जाना चाहते हो and आप academics का career ला रहे हो, for example, someone in future will pursue NET, who will do PhD and who are teaching in any law school. अगर आप कोई law school में पढ़ा रहे हो and then you are suddenly thinking कि okay, now I want to go into corporate, that those years of teaching in law school will not going to help you to get a good corporate job. कोई शुरू से डे 1 से कॉर्पोरेट में काम कर रहा है एंड देन आप कुछ साल एकेडमिक्स में पढ़ाने के बाद कॉर्पोरेट में जा रहे हो, डेफिनेटली द फर्स्ट वन विल बी मच अहेड फ्रॉम यू बिकॉज आपने अपना पाथ ऑल टुगेदर बदल दिया है. So that's why this clarity, the confidence you need to have from today. Doesn't matter in which year you are, you need to have it from today, right? So this is the major problem which today people are facing. कि आप किसी particular area of law या किसी particular domain में काम कर रहे हो and then you're expecting that you'll get a job in another domain. This is not the case. Today the job market demands कि आप वो particular niche area में specialize हो रहे हो, right? Any one of you who have thought of pursuing LLM masters in future, maybe in coming years? Anyone?
I'm actually thinking about it. basically I'm currently in my second year of 3 years LLB. So after finishing my LLB, I want to practice for some time and then I want to do an LLB.
Now what just based on your understanding, just tell me, you just have said to me that okay, you're in your second year of 3-year LLB, you want to practice for certain years and then you want to pursue LLM. What is the whole logic and point behind practicing for certain years and then doing an LLM rather than just immediately doing an LLM? What is your logic? Just
I'm not sure about like going into that field, like for academic field. I want to first of all explore. Actually, I haven't done any internship. Currently, I'm doing it with law group. This is my first internship itself. So I'm not very exposed to the practical field of law. So I want to first of all understand how practically law works. Then I want to take a decision based on that.
okay, but this is another point which you need to understand, that if you are giving certain years and then pursuing your masters, how it is going to help you. You have to rethink about this. I'm not sure people does that. People does it from abroad. People take certain years, practice here or do a corporate job and then go ahead in the abroad and pursue LLM. But I have seen people through my eyes that who have gone abroad, pursued LLM, given hefty amount to that particular institute, and then coming in India and typing on LinkedIn and looking for opportunities and they're not landing into good opportunities. What is the whole point why you have paid 30-35 lakhs to there, right? So you need to rethink about this and identify why actually pursue. And I'm not saying that pursuing LLM will actually is the only thing that why you pursue LLM, that to be a professor. It is not the case. After pursuing LLM, I have myself, when I pursued LLM from Symbiosis Law School, I have opened doors to several opportunities. Now I'm working corporate, I have a chance to pivot to academics. I can anytime go and understand why academics is working for me. I can pivot it to that particular career. But if right after finishing my LLM, अगर मैंने academics में as a professor start कर दिया होता, तो that was not going to help me कि मैं 2-3 साल बाद बोल रही हूँ that मुझे corporate में काम करना है. Those years are literally a waste of time if at the end I'm thinking मुझे corporate में काम करना है. But after working in corporate, you can definitely enter into academics. So आपको ये चीज समझने की जरूरत है कि आप क्या एक्चुअल में कर रहे हो and उसका आउटकम क्या होने वाला है, right? So that's the thing. That's good that you are thinking about pursuing LLM. Okay, so next we are coming close to the ending of session, but building a strong professional network. So another important thing which I really want you all to take today with this session, that you have to build a strong professional network. Some of you are doing internships with Law Trove. That is very good that you are actually building a network through that. That's the thing, no? Because Law Trove is hosting sessions. Law Trove is giving you an opportunity to discuss with professionals who are actually working in the market, right? So that is the way, that is the pathway where you are building a strong professional network. अभी सिर्फ professional network बनाना क्यों important? Because mentorship and industry insights. Even today, I am trying to gain mentorship from people ahead of me 10 plus years, right? Industry insights होना बहुत important है. Doesn't matter अगर आप अभी practically exposed नहीं हुए उस market में, but insights मिलना is also a good thing, right? You get a point, you get a thought about it. Secondly, access to opportunities. If you are building a profile on platform like LinkedIn, it will definitely help you to give an access to opportunities. I'm not saying that it is a platform which will help you land a job immediately, but it will help you get an exposure of what are the type of opportunities are there, right? And eventually this is going to help you grow in your career. So you have to build a strong professional network. Now this is just one platform. I'm saying that you have to connect with people. If you are going into any particular court in your particular district or area, you have to have a strong connection. You have to start talking to people, what they are doing, why they are doing, what, why and how. These are the 3 questions which you have to ask each and everyone. Whenever I personally talk with any professional in front of me, these are the 3 questions I ask that particular person, that why you have done this, how you have done this, and like what actually sparked your interest that you have done this, right? Because by that I will be getting certain kind of insights in his or her life and how they have built their career in law, right? So this is one thing. Now coming towards the end, there are certain terminologies which I really want you to go today and search. Just simply go and type on the internet what is legal tech, what is transformation of law, what is contract management, what is data privacy, what is cyber security, what is mediation, arbitration, what is taxation law, what is business management, what is ESG, environmental sustainable governance, what is IPR, what is meant by compliance, right? What is meant by risk management. So these are certain kind of terminologies जिसके around आप play करोगे if you are entering into any corporate environment, if you are entering into any law firm. So these are certain terms जिसकी understanding होना at first बहुत important है. I'm not saying go ahead and do certification. I'm not saying go ahead and do it straightforward internship. Just sit, give a time, search about these words, read about it. That's why I've said that you have to start using platforms like LinkedIn because people really talk about these, right? People really talk about these terminologies. Nobody will help you that now today you all have told me that your professors and teachers or law school are isn't teaching you what is AI. They're just saying that okay, you don't have to copy it from AI and prepare a research paper. But today it is a very problematic situation. Even I am seeing right now that no law school is teaching you what is AI, how it will help you land into good opportunity because the market is going to change. I have seen that even teachers and professors need to adapt about AI. Yesterday only one of my ex-professor from law school just came and asked me that I really want to know about what you are talking about AI and all. So I regularly and frequently post about what is AI, what is law, how they are connected and how it will help you reshape the legal field and how it will help you to land onto opportunities. So that's why it is very important that these are certain terminologies. Just go and search about it, what it means, how it is going to change the legal field and what all opportunities are there in the market, right? So I'll just stop presenting right now and I really want to give a time to each one of you. If you have any question, this is your time to just speak up and just get a clarity of what you are doing and what you want to do. So anyone who wants to ask anything, doesn't matter how basic it is, feel free. Yes, Disha, please go ahead.
How I can use AI to build my skills and set a foundation?
Okay, so for that, first of all, the first thing you need to understand is what is AI. I'll just say give 1 or 2 weeks in understanding AI. What is AI? Just sit down, just type on the internet, just read about people who are talking about AI and just understand AI. And secondly, if you're saying you want to build your skill set, you need to have a good... Have you heard about prompt engineering, Diksha?
Yes,
Okay, so prompt engineering is something when you ask AI itself about the things, right? Prompt engineering is a skill set of asking questions. The way you are asking question right now in this session, that the prompt is something which you give to that particular AI tool. For example, ChatGPT. You need to understand. People today are using ChatGPT. I'm not denying, but they are just typing and getting answers. Okay. But there is a whole logic behind that particular application. You need to know what kind of prompts you are giving to that application so to get a good result. So in order to build up your skill set in AI and everything, first you have to understand what is AI, because I'm sure people today don't have understanding of what is AI, how it is connected to legal field. That is another thing which you need to understand and get a clarity on. And thirdly, you have to understand, if you really want to build your skill set, try understanding what is prompt engineering. Just read about it, and if you find any course, definitely try doing that once you are clear if what is AI and what is AI and what. Okay.
One more question. Through these different courses, can I know which prompt I can use to understand AI tools and get my answers?
No, so that is the thing. No single course can teach you. Prompt engineering is a concept. It's not just a term. So even today, if I want to ask AI something, no amount of courses will help me. Today I want to ask something to AI. So you have to regularly try using that application in a way. Once you understood the concept of prompt engineering, once you have listened to any YouTube lesson, or once you have attended any webinar about prompt engineering, then you can try applying those particular understanding of prompt engineering in your way. I want to ask something, you have to collect the knowledge which you have got from that particular webinar, and accordingly you need to ask the questions, right? And the more you will ask questions, the more clarity you yourself will get with how to ask questions and how to get answers of what you are actually expecting, right? Yes. Anyone else who wants to ask anything, or we can come to closing of the session?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, Sakshi. Good afternoon.
Ma'am, people are saying that there are two options in law career. One is litigation and one is corporate. So, ma'am, those law students who are pursuing the law degree in their law schools, ma'am, there is a lot of misunderstanding about corporate field. Means what is actually there in the corporate field, ma'am? I want to ask, what are all the opportunities that are there? What are skill set requires? What are the courses required that a law student should have to go into a corporate field?
Yes, very good question. That's why we have just discussed that you have to get a clarity. If you are in your law school, you have to get a clarity. Okay, this is particular domain I want to pursue. I want to go ahead and build a career into this particular domain. Accordingly, you will do internship, and accordingly, you will enter into that particular corporate environment where you are excelling in that particular domain. Like for example, if I want to build a career in IPR, I will definitely study what is intellectual property law. Not just in my law school. You have to pursue a specialized course in that. You have to pursue a degree of LLM either, or you have to pursue a short-term course about understanding what are the core of IPR. Because what IPR is taught by law school is not IPR. It's just the term IPR. It is not IPR. IPR is a vast, it covers a vast pool of understanding, right? And then you will find out the various type of law firms, just entering any corporate, right? You have to understand what kind of law firms and corporate departments are actually giving services of IPR. You just have to sit down. You have to have a patience to understand that what all type of companies are offering services in intellectual property law, and then accordingly you have to understand what are the job description. Because after reading the job description, you may encounter that okay, this is the skill set which I don't have. Then accordingly you can build up your skill set. So that is the best practice you should follow. That you have to read the job description, not just for getting a job, for even getting an internship. You have to read the job description which is there, and then accordingly you can give time and build that skill set, and definitely you will land in that particular career.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yes, Nandini.
Ma'am, is there any way to connect with you in future?
So sorry, Nandini. You can put your message in the chat box. Not able to
guidance.
Ma'am, I want to ask how to write on LinkedIn without using ChatGPT, because whenever I write, I need the help of ChatGPT. So how to do that?
So these are the certain things which you should develop today. You have to have a conversation with people around you. You have to take participation in various competitions, various other kind of activities out of your law school in the law field, and then accordingly it is a mindset. We have just discussed that it is not about getting a degree. It's a mindset which you will develop with time when you are pursuing your law, and then that mindset will help you to write about those particular things, right? So you don't have to go ahead and ask ChatGPT what your mind is thinking. You will not ask ChatGPT what my mind is thinking. You will tell ChatGPT that my mind is thinking so and so, and I want to talk about this. So for that, if what your mind is thinking, you have to discuss, you have to open up, you have to talk to people, you have to enter into various kind of opportunities which are offered by today. There are so many opportunities, not just law school is offering. There are other law colleges you also offering. You can take part in those, right?
And how to write good English in that, like LinkedIn post when we are writing, because I face a lot of problems with words and writing good English in the post. So how to do that?
Yeah, this is the thing. There is no straightforward clarity to this. You will build it with time, right? So once you start writing, if people are actually commenting what you are saying, if without getting criticization, nobody gets a clarity of things, right? It's even today, if I do something, I get criticized by it. It's very good thing if someday or some other person will criticize me. That will help me to reform myself, right? So start doing it. These are the thoughts which will definitely come into each one of your mind, but unless and until you start doing that particular thing, you will not be able to get the clarity, right? So it's not that you have to sit down and think, okay, I'm not able to write in good English, so I'll not write. That is not the case. You have to start writing in whatever language, in whatever type of way you are thinking it, and once you start writing, you will go back in the 6 months past, and you will see how you have improved yourself, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Disha.
Ma'am, how we can understand the market trends so that we can work on that particular field and build our career?
Yeah, so this is a thing which requires another session. I believe that understanding market trends and opportunities, there is a whole list of tools which I can discuss about what are the type of opportunities and how you will understand the market trends and how will you be able to align it with your particular domain. So for now, I just suggest that be active on LinkedIn, be active on platforms, be actively start looking for opportunities which are there in the market. Just type what are the trending field in law, and then accordingly, definitely each and every source will give you what are the trending fields in law. But for that, I believe that Lotto has to go host another session. So yeah. Okay, yeah, one last. Yeah, Rahul, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. As you talked about building mastery over the subject of laws, so the thing is that I tend to understand the laws pretty much whenever I read the Bare Act and all. But after some time, I tend to forget. But when I again read them, I'll understand them. I'll clearly interpret what it says. I can do that, but I find it a bit difficult on remembering those aspects and keeping them forward with me.
Yeah, so Bare Act is just a base. There is a misconception among law students today that understanding Bare Act will help you write answers and get good opportunities. Bare Act is just a base. It is a concept. Everything has a basis, right? So if you are thinking that you are reading it and going ahead and then reading it again and forgetting, so that means you have not at all understood, right? Something once you have understood, you will be able to put it in words throughout your life. If you'll try this particular thing, you have to understand Bare Act. Bare Act understanding is not something that you will reading and understanding. You have to start discussing about it. That's why I said that you have to start taking participation in debate. You have to start attending webinars. You have to start asking questions. Because once you will ask question about that particular topic or particular article or section of Bare Act, you will be able to then speak up about that particular thing. Once you will be able to speak up, with time you will definitely get the clarity of it, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
ma'am.
ma'am, for that session. Thank you, ma'am.